Some girl that I lived in a co-op with, and then I think she got married to a guy I lived in a university residence with. She's a cop now, and she posts on something awful, and she's friends with Anita Sarkeesian. And you know what? When I was being arranged on bail and processed through the system for the last time I was in jail, I had to call for duty counsel, and the person they put me on the phone with, well, it turns out, oh, it's this girl I haven't talked to in 5 years, picking up the line as police dispatch to put me in contact with duty counsel from inside the prison. So you tell me the police haven't been subverted by online gangs. You tell me the judicial system isn't being abused by online gangs when they have people in the system, in the judiciary, that are still coming on these online gossip sites and participating in them, which have hate group elements, drug dealing, anti-Semitism, racism. It doesn't matter if it's not directly said. If it's in metaphor, if it's indirect, it's still gossip and slander. It's still libel. It's still demonizing people, especially when it follows them for 20 years. And the idea that Angela Heavey can be working for the police force and still on here on the fuck you and die forum that you have to pay to see it. It appears between this one and this one. There's a hidden one here. You have to pay $10 to see it. It's pink. The fact that they go on there and they can spread their hate shit and still work for the cops and pretend to be just, that's appalling, because it isn't just. It's just gossip cliques peer pressuring women, especially in these fake liberal causes, to take authoritarian, totalitarian perspectives and criminalize people. And they aren't victims. This is how victim culture gets produced. This is how Anita Sarkeesian got I don't even fucking know what it is, the gall to slander me and to say that I never helped her with her master's thesis when I was in grade fucking 10. I wrote that thing. This is where Lotax comes off having his wife take credit for my gateway personality and character that I was using as a young man experimenting with transgender identities in the early 2000s. This is where the whole cover-up thing happens, because these people are so insecure of their connections to illegal activities like gang violence, like anti-Semitism, like Nazi gangs, like the Hells Angels, that they'll do anything to put on a front and hedge in, whether that means extremist feminism mixed with extremist gang culture to create a polar dynamic, or whatever it is. They're doing everything they can to obfuscate the reality of what they're actually doing. And it's very much like the Twitter harassment case in Toronto Life magazine, where the gang of feminists accused the guy. It's very much like the Ghomeshi case, where the gang of feminists colluded to change the accusation into something more devastating. It's all the same thing, except in my case, it's online lewd language, like I want to touch your pussy or whatever, and just garbage. It's garbage being conflated into something more serious than it actually is. And they're doing this to police and to censor competition. It's all from a capitalist competitive mindset, and it's all from vanity, insecurity, feminism that's been radicalized with violence. It's basically like teacher's pet syndrome, where they're going to call the cops on you no matter what, to take and hide from their own personal responsibility. They do the same shit, just in a different way, on a different website, and though it may not be direct, it's still just as devastating in the social grapevine.